Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Calling All Devs, the weekly Q&A series where I take questions from you, the Star Citizen backer, and pose them directly to our developers, usually over Skype, and sometimes having to do them back-to-back, so I'm actually filming multiple episodes in the same day and I'm wearing the same clothes, and I wanted to bring a change of shirt, and I didn't, because I'm a professional. Joining us on the show this week, we've got Rob Johnson from Foundry 42. Rob, how you doing, man?
Hi Jared, how's it going?
Good. It's been a while since we've had you on.
Yes, it feels that way. Looking forward to this one though.
It's been a while. I can't remember precisely when. I'm sure somebody's tracking these things. Rob, what is your title and what do you do for Star Citizen? Just for the folks who might not know you.
I'm lead gameplay programmer working at CIG in Wilmslow.
Gotcha. All right. So lead gameplay programmer. We've got a question. The question's worded a little interestingly, but I think I know what they're getting at. The question says, with the introduction of the Hurricane and better turret play, when can we expect to see multi-crew, Vandal Swarm, and Pirate Swarm? I don't think the multi-crew needs are related to the Hurricane and the turret gameplay in any way. Folks have been wanting multiplayer, multi-crew in Vandal Swarm almost since the beginning, probably since the day after it came out. So that's a long-standing question. It's existed long before the Hurricane was added. Although the Hurricane is pretty cool, don't get me wrong. What can you tell us about this?
Well, I can remember right back to the original dogfighting module release because I was working on it. So yeah, like you say, this is something that's people have been wanting for a while. It's been on our radar for quite a while. Various sort of other releases we've done has sort of seen Arena Commander sort of for some releases get more attention than others. Moving forward, we're in the process of assembling a dedicated strike team to be looking at both Arena Commander and Star Marine issues, improvements, freshening up the game modes, new maps, that kind of thing. And certainly whilst we've been planning out the work for that team, multi-crew Arena Commander has come up again, and we can feel hopefully in a few releases time we should have a team in place better to tackle that. I've worked on quite a bit of spawning code for the various game modes before now, so I know, for example, we already have stuff in the game code that will allow you to spawn in various seats or beds within a ship. So from that angle, a bunch of the code is pretty much there. What the kind of things we'd need to add are some extra functionality within the lobbies. Right. Might make more sense to do that as a sort of wider pass where we can look to freshen up the lobbies in general for Arena Commander and Star Marine modes to engage people further, but certainly like in the lobbies you'll obviously need a way to sort of specify, I want to join this multi-crew ship and sit in this seat, take on this role, for example. So work like that is more of a sticking point than the actual game code right now, and it's really just a sticking point in terms of getting that team assembled, getting people to actually have that as their focus, to look into those issues, because they're not, without that kind of wider feature work, it's difficult just to write a few lines of code and turn that feature on.
Right.
And then there's obviously like other things we would look to do, for example, like sort of do some more detailed kind of balance passes, make sure the turret gameplay is fully polished up, and then obviously you'd want to look at other multi-crew roles, so it's possibly not just something that we'd want to consider like pilots and gunners for. Maybe we want more like engineered roles, part of your ship's going down, you're going to go fix it.
Exactly.
But then for a tiers, for an initial sort of implementation of the feature, we could focus on the turret gameplay. That would be a sensible thing to do, and it'd certainly be cool to get it in Vandal Swarm as sort of a starting point, because that's probably easier to balance against the AIs when you're working in a co-op. environment anyway. So yeah, I mean, I'd look forward to playing that myself once we get it in, and like I say, we'll be aiming to do that in the near future.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt in anybody's mind that this is something that we've wanted for Arena Commander just as much as players have wanted to. It's, as always, it comes down to a matter of resources and priorities. Obviously, Arena Commander and by extension Star Marine were meant to be test beds to get us to the persistent universe. We got to the persistent universe much faster than we originally anticipated with the explosion of resources in Foundry 42 UK and the addition of our Frankfurt office. So our attentions have been focused there in the persistent universe. But as Aaron Roberts stated at the beginning of this year on Reverse the Verse, one of our objectives that we want to achieve this year is to build up that strike team, that build up that dedicated team that can focus on Star Marine and Marine Commander and give them the love that we know not only that you guys want to be focused on that, but that we want to give. So no timetables yet, nothing to share, but of course the RSI public roadmap would be your place. And I know the roadmap hasn't been updated in a little while. After 3.2, we've been doing a lot of reshuffling, a lot of reexaminations and stuff as we prepare for 3.3. By the time this airs, though, considering that I'm recording this on August 15th, by the time that this airs, hopefully that roadmap will have your updates. And that will, of course, be the place to check for when multi-crew Arena Commander and stuff get put on the development calendar. So, all right, Rob, I'm going to let you get back to work. Thank you so much, dude.
Thanks, Jared. Good talking to you.
Take care. Now, going to Austin, Texas, and calling all devs all-star when other people are too busy, when like, no, Jared, I can't do it. This is my hallmark. This is my touchstone. This is the guy that I can always rely on. Rob, different Rob.
Hey.
Rob Johnson, now Rob Reiniger. How you doing, man?
What's going on, man? How you doing, Jared?
Good. Welcome back to Calling All Devs. It's only been like your 17th time, I think. I don't know.
Happy to be here, man.
I'm not counting. I've got, the reason I gave you such a wonderful intro is because I've got 3 questions for you. Three questions. Yeah. Well,
Dude, I've been up in the world, man.
They submit them, they vote on them. It just happens to be 3 questions that are all right there in your ballpark there. All right, so let's just get to it here. Regarding quantum jumping. Actually, you know what? Let's come back to that because 2 questions are about quantum. We'll start with this one. Never mind. I should have planned this out ahead of time. Regarding quantum jumping and the release of 3.3, will radar give us an intelligent travel distance feedback? For example, if we select the planet Hurston as our destination before leaving Port Olisar, will our computer AI, the bitchin' Betty, tell us that we don't have enough gas to get there and that you should not try to go straight there in a straight line? Will it tell us that we need to detour to truck stops, rest stops, whatnot?
We are working on a feature right now. We've got a formal design for it that's approved for route planning, and what that is something integrated into the star map that allows you to basically, I'm in Port Olisar, I select Hurston, it's going to create, like Google Maps, kind of a path to that location that you've selected, and it will not only take into account like how far your quantum drive will allow you to go in a single jump. It'll automatically pick the shortest path, but it'll also tell you like how much quantum fuel is required for each step of the way. So I'm not sure if it's going to be this release or next. It's definitely being worked on at the moment. It's actually the next thing on our hit list, but due to CitizenCon, I'm not sure, where that's going to fall, but it's definitely in the plans, and eventually that'll evolve into you being able to like pull your pin around, like, ooh, I want to go around this side of the moon instead of that side, or so on. And we also want to do stuff like update the nav markers to actually show like, oh yeah, there's fuel at this location, or there's not, or so some of the other, like essential information that the players are going to need to kind of navigate the map intelligently, instead of just going, well, I hope they got fuel there because I'm going to run out right there, So it's definitely in the plans, and we want to make that much more user-friendly and fun for the players to figure out where to go and how to get there.
Awesome. Well, at the same time, I don't think we ever want to just give them all the answers at once and do the work of plotting the route entirely for them.
Yeah, no, and it's got to be like, So this is my personal opinion, and how this fully works out is a little bit to be decided. But I expect that you will gather information as you go to these different places. So you may not know there's fuel on Outpost 57, but as you go there and learn more about it, it's kind of like a fog of war on the map, right? Like you learn things. Your computer now stores things about the places that you visit, and so you will accrue information over time as you travel throughout the universe. So we really want to try and push that sense of exploration in the world and kind of learning about the environment instead of, like you said, just feeding all the information all at once. So I would expect something a little along those lines more in the future, but that's even beyond the route planning stuff. So
I like that idea of as more star systems come online and there are of people specializing in certain star systems. Like I know the Stanton system like the back of my hand. I know the Pyro system. It's like if you're taking a trip, if you're taking a trip to Spider, you're gonna want to talk to Ken Shadow or somebody else. They know Spider like the back of their. They're gonna know which ones have fuel, which ones don't. Stuff like that.
And it also plays into like this whole concept of information as a valuable commodity, right? So being able to sell your star map information to other players for whatever that fee is, right? Like, or selling it. I explored the outer rim of whatever system that's never been explored before, so I go to the local astrological society and sell them that information, where other people can then go and purchase a map of something that's been explored, right? Like, so all information in the world should have a value to it, and the more that it gets explored, the more information, the more recent the information is, right? Like if somebody finds gold on a planet and that's a 3-month-old report, like, is there still gold on that planet? Right. It's like that being able to consistently update that information with current information is also a valuable thing, right? So it all kind of ties together at the end of the day. But route planning is definitely on the near horizon very soon.
So just to recap, because we went off on a couple tangents there, and I'm not complaining.
It's
all
all
gold. No, it's all gold. Sorry. It's for the first iteration. We're talking about it's always tier 0. It's going to be limited in functionality. It'll be what you hopefully it'll be what you need to get where you're going. Then as time goes on, we'll continue to iterate. The information that your bitch and Betty gives you about planning your routes will improve, but there will be an upper cap on it. We don't want to just provide you every single answer, automatically give you the shortest, most efficient, quickest, safest route in the world. We want players to discover those tendencies and use their own experience to inform that and to share with others as a valuable commodity.
It's definitely going to be the shortest route to start, and right now we don't have a lot of other places to travel, but as that changes, you're going to have more options as to where to go, and whether or not that's heavily infested by pirates, like that may be a decision that you want to take into account. So we recognize that you're going to need to be able to kind of move those pins around, but that's not going to be tier 0 for sure.
All right, so from using quantum jump to go to where you want to go, our next question, the most voted up question for our August thread, is the exact opposite. Using quantum jump to go where you don't know where you want to go. Wow. This question says, will we be able to place a waypoint on the map even if there's nothing there, and just quantum travel to that? That's an explorer talking, I can tell.
Yes, definitely. We've definitely talked about that. It's come up in multiple conversations just about quantum travel in general. We talked about a few things, because it implies that you can get to areas to drop that waypoint that are don't have a quantum travel point associated with it to get there in the first place, right? So it also means that you'd have to be able to point in a direction and just go somewhere to plot down your waypoints. So it does have some other implications that we have to kind of work through.
Or just bring up the star map, find a space that's in the middle of nowhere, and drop a marker on your star map.
Like I want to go there. Like it's. We're just not sure what the best way to go about doing it is, and there's other considerations, like we want to have trade lanes, or we want to have patrolled routes or between 2 points, and so that also implies that people can circumvent these areas, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just we got to think about what other kind of systems do we need in place to make sure that it's a fun experience no matter where you go. So
not ruling it out then.
Not right now. No, definitely it's being talked about, but we got a lot of stuff to figure out before we can commit to that.
Gotcha. All right, and last question. Not about quantum travel. Congratulations.
Sweet.
What are the plans, if any, for our personal hangars? Obviously, hangars have been a part of Star Citizen since the beginning. The very first version of Star Citizen's game client was the hangar module. The hangar modules have gone through a revision. They were the original deluxe in business, and they went to Revel in York and Arrowview. What's the future of our personal hangars look like right now?
Coincidentally, I was literally hired like right when those came out. So I've kind of seen them all, and basically right now we're working on what we're calling like the common elements for our first major city building set, which is the Lorville Hurston landing zone. And so we have the hangars required for that landing zone are built with this new modular art set that we're working on, and every city will have its own modular set. It may be based on a variant of an existing one or a completely new one, right? But the plan is to take the hangars, which are client side only right now, and integrate those into these major landing zones. So if you had say a Revel in York hangar, well, that might be in Microtech, right? Because it's this big fancy high-tech thing. So the Revel in York hangars may be out there. Our court may have the industrial hangars or something, right? So, but the different hangars will be kind of stationed at the different landing zones, and your hangar ownership would basically transfer to the location where that is actually located. So, and then that would allow things like being able to invite your friends to your hangar and stuff like that. So it's and you would the plan is to still be able to do all the flair or placement of your stuff to personalize your hangar just as it was before. So
and just before we see the Spectrum thread up on it, the industrial hangar will probably go to like Levski, considering it's
or sure, yeah,
just
right.
He's on his third question, people. Go easy on him.
Right. I forget which ones.
I know.
Which ones sometimes.
That's why you have.
Is it the industrial one, the rock one? Is
the
that
industrial one is the rock.
Oh yeah, that would definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely go to Levski or like Grimpex or something,
wanted to head off the thread. He goes, Rob says the industrial hangar is going to change.
Yeah.
It's going to be
totally going to be over here. No, don't quote me on where they're going to go. But that's the general plan though. Is that as we build out more and more of our art sets, we're going to have more of these hangar common element sets that we can just kind of snap together and create, the small, medium, large, extra large hangar, and then you'll have several options of what you want to rent by at any given location. And if you own one, obviously you would be grandfathered into the ownership of that hangar in whatever location they're for.
So obviously that's not the player hangar system, but it's as that comes online, we'll have more information for you and with stuff. We're still exploring a lot of ideas. I'm certain there will be no shortage of threads based on what you guys want us to do. Please start those threads. That is the purpose of Spectrum. Tell us how you want to see that progress. And it's we know how important player hangars are. It was literally the first aspect of Star Citizen that was ever put out. It is our version of player housing at this point and whatnot. So it'll be an exciting time when the first versions, the first ones of those come online on Hurston,
Lorville.
And Lorville, and you'll be able to decorate your hangar, and actually that's where you'll be able to invite people to visit your hangar with all of your hangar flair and stuff like that. Because
coincidentally, the player halves are also good.
We're saving that.
You could just be like, beep.
thing. You're like, Rob Reiniger wants information to be free, and Jared says, no, you have to wait for it. Well, that about does it for our show of Robs, our robbing show. I don't know what we're going to call it yet. Rob Johnson and Rob Reiniger, thank you so much for being here on Calling All Devs. Remember, you can submit your questions for consideration each and every week up on the thread, up on Spectrum, and don't forget to vote. That's the two-pronged plan. You got to submit your questions, you got to vote your questions. I almost did something bad with my fingers. For Calling All Devs, I'm Content Manager for Global Video Production, Jared Huckabee. We'll see you next week, everybody.
Thanks for watching. For the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42, you can subscribe to our channel, or you can check out some of the other shows, and you can also head to our website at www.robertsspaceindustries.com. Thank you very much for watching.